252 species in genus Aechmea. July 29th, Aechmea. Aechmea, the urn plant, defines July 29th. Aechmea symbolizes boldness and beauty. You have a striking presence and a confident spirit. Like this tropical plant, you stand out in any crowd. Aechmea, my fascination with these spiky beauties. I've always been drawn to the unusual, the vibrant, the slightly dangerous. So naturally, when I first encountered an Aechmea bromeliad, I was hooked. With their spiky foliage, vivid blooms, and intriguing growth habits, they seemed like plants from another planet. And in a way, they are. Hailing from the lush, tropical ecosystems of the Americas, these plants have adapted to thrive in conditions most houseplants wouldn't tolerate. Now, Vu, am no botanist, but I've spent countless hours poring over plant catalogs, visiting botanical gardens, and yes, even braving the wilds of online forums to learn everything I can about these fascinating plants. And the more I learn, the more fascinated I become. What is bromeliad Aechmea? Aechmea belong to the Bromeliaceae family, which means they're related to pineapples. But unlike their fruit-bearing cousin, Aechmeas are prized for their striking foliage and inflorescences. The leaves, often arranged in a rosette, come in a dazzling array of colors and patterns, from deep greens and reds to silvery grays and even stripes and spots. And then there are the flowers. Emerging from the center of the rosette, they boast vibrant hues and unusual shapes, often resembling a spiky mace or a colorful cone. But what truly sets Aechmea apart is their adaptability. Many are epiphytes, meaning they grow on other plants, typically trees, for support. This allows them to reach sunlight in the dense rainforest canopy. They've also evolved to collect water and nutrients in their central tank, formed by the overlapping leaves. This unique adaptation makes them surprisingly drought-tolerant, a trait I appreciate as someone who occasionally forgets to water my plants. A diverse genus. The genus Aechmea is incredibly diverse, with over 250 recognized species. See full list at monsteraholic.com. How to care for a bromeliad Aechmea. Caring for bromeliad Aechmea is straightforward. Here are some essential tips based on my experience. Light requirements. These plants prefer bright, indirect light. I've noticed that placing them near a window with filtered sunlight helps them thrive. Too much direct sunlight can scorch their leaves, while too little light may hinder flowering. Watering. I usually fill the central cup of the plant with water, allowing it to absorb moisture as needed. Ensure that the potting mix is well draining to prevent root rot. During the growing season, I water about once a week, reducing it in the winter. Humidity. Bromeliad Aechmea loves humidity. I often mist my plants or place them on a pebble tray filled with water to maintain the humidity levels. This mimics their natural tropical environment. Temperature. They thrive in temperatures between 65 degrees Fahrenheit and 80 degrees Fahrenheit. I avoid exposing them to temperatures below 50 degrees Fahrenheit, as they are sensitive to cold. How to propagate bromeliad Aechmea. Propagating bromeliad Aechmea is an exciting process. I wait until the mother plant produces pups, small offsets that grow at its base. Once the pups are at least a third of the size of the mother plant, I carefully separate them and replant them in their pots. It's a satisfying way to expand my collection. What flower can I combine with bromeliad Aechmea? Choosing companion plants for bromeliad Aechmea can enhance the overall aesthetic of your space. I like to pair them with low-light tolerant plants like ferns or shade-loving orchids. They provide a lush backdrop that complements the bold colors of the Aechmea. Additionally, succulents or air plants work well, adding diversity without competing for light or water. Can you grow bromeliad Aechmea indoors? Absolutely. I've had great success growing bromeliad Aechmea indoors. They adapt well to indoor conditions as long as you provide adequate light and humidity. I recommend placing them in bright areas, such as near east or west-facing windows, and ensuring they're in a well-draining potting mix. Is bromeliad Aechmea toxic? One of the great things about bromeliad Aechmea is that they are non-toxic to pets and humans. I feel comfortable having them around my pets, knowing they won't cause any harm if they decide to take a nibble. Benefits of having bromeliad Aechmea. Having bromeliad Aechmea in my home brings several benefits. They not only purify the air, but also add a splash of color and a tropical vibe to any space. Their unique structure can serve as a conversation starter, and they require relatively low maintenance compared to other flowering plants. Common problems with Bromeliad Aechmea. Despite their hardiness, Bromeliad Aechmea can face some common issues. Here are a few I've encountered. Pests. Occasionally, I've spotted mealybugs or scale insects on my plants. A gentle wash with soap and water usually does the trick. Root rot. Overwatering can lead to root rot. I've learned to keep an eye on the drainage and only water when necessary. Leaf browning. If the leaf tips start to brown, it might be a sign of underwatering or low humidity. I remedy this by increasing humidity or adjusting my watering schedule. How does Bromeliad Aechmea compare with other bromeliads? While many bromeliads share similar care needs, Aechmea stands out for its vibrant flowers and unique leaf structures. Compared to other popular varieties like Guzmania or Neoregalia, Aechmea tends to have a sturdier appearance. Guzmania often features tubular flowers and prefers slightly more shade, while Neoregalia exhibits striking foliage patterns. Each type has its unique charm, but Aechmea has become one of my favorites for its ease of care and show-stopping blooms. For me, Aechmea are more than just houseplants. They're a source of constant wonder, a reminder of the incredible diversity and resilience of the natural world. And with their bold beauty and easygoing nature, they're the perfect companions for a plant enthusiast like myself.